Hello everyone, welcome on back to Survival Challenge. Alright, so first things first, we're gonna head over here to this field. We'll do the lime for this field. That way all of our fields will be freshly limed. The goal is to get both of these fields planted today. This field here, I'm pretty sure is ready to harvest next month. So it is crucial that we start looking into ways to make money, because we need $75,000 for the combine. We're a little bit away from that. I was hoping to look at this. Yeah, 4 or 5. I would assume 5 is ready to harvest. It probably will say in here. Yeah, it looks pretty dark green. These show now. I deactivated the Nexat, I think, mod DLC, and now they show. So it must just been some sort of bug with that. I know in the past I've had bugs and stuff with Giants DLC, so I'm assuming it's just another one of those. Alright, so pop up steering assist to make this a little bit easier. Yeah, the goal is probably once we get this here limed, we'll start working on probably cutting it down another oak tree. We have one right there, and then I think there's 3 or 4 total in the yard. I don't quite remember. We have a decent amount kind of sitting around. I'm hoping not to cut them all down, but obviously if I gotta cut them down so we can afford things, then kind of just what we gotta do. And I also changed the peas to just store for the time being, because surprisingly, when I was adding the sell everything station, so we can sell like dairy products like milk, buffalo milk. For some reason, those aren't on the base map, but I added that sell point in. I was checking on my kind of like test map I have, and I have a test for that greenhouse, and I was like, I'm kind of curious, what do these pallets look like? And I quickly realized they weigh like nothing. So we can actually pick them up by hand without super strength. And if we have like a grain trailer next to it, we can just, hit the fill button and it'll just fill the trailer right from the pallet of them. That's a nice little thing. We'll do at least for now. Maybe in the future, maybe it'd be more convenient just to auto sell, but obviously we can make a little bit more this way for the time being, at least. That would be kind of nice, because obviously we got some expenses coming. I think long term it wouldn't be bad to have a little road from up here down to those fields. We probably have the space for it. Right now we probably won't, just for financial reasons, but well, I'll do the fun part, I'm sure, here of trying to get the bags off of the trailer. Obviously, we don't have a front loader, so the options are either super strength, which I try to only use on trees, or if there's something that's tipped over or something, obviously I use it, but so I'll try to get him to come off. Alright, so much like I've done in the past, just oh, yay! All 4 of them. Yeah, I can grab these 2 here. And they are surprisingly weigh nothing. We can literally pick it up without super strength. I don't know if it's meant to be like that, but that's how it is right now. So I'll do it this way. That's how the mod is, so that's how I'll do it for the time being, at least. And in the future, obviously, we can just fill up a trailer or something. It'd be a little bit easier than this, but yeah, that price is pretty good. It's at the Sell Everything station, which I did get added, and I don't technically own the land, so it appears to work. I tried to sell milk and stuff there, and it was working. I corrected the money. But, yeah, I was able to spawn in milk and stuff, and it would sell there, so I think pallet goods sold there as well. I think the peas, I don't know if the peas will sell or not. They're supposed to be a loose crop, so will they sell if they're in a pallet? Because technically, I think if we could sell at a pallet, it'd be a better price at farmer's market because we get a bonus, I'm pretty sure. I don't think it affects the crops, though. I'll probably just sell it to Sell Everything just in case it's not the case, but alright, so we will try to chop this up in a couple different pieces. Yeah, the Sell Everything station, we'll look at it when I drive by. It doesn't show the icons, but you can sell there. It was selling correctly and everything when I was testing it, so yeah, the icons don't show, though. It's kind of unfortunate, but I'm sure if I owned the land, it probably would. But, like I said, I'm trying not to own land that I don't really have, technically. I shouldn't be owning that land. We haven't bought it, so. Alright, so we're just about at the sawmill here, so we'll get the tree, at least a portion of the tree sold, the oak tree. I'm assuming somebody different again. Yeah, literally, like every time, somebody different there. $10,500 right there. Even once we get all of this oak tree sold, we'll still be short. Now, granted, this will be like $7,000. We might be close to 60, so we'll probably be like next month early. We'll be selling like one oak tree or something, or maybe the rest of the peas might do it too, to be able to get that the harvester. We're gonna probably have to buy some solid fertilizer soon, some seeds, which I'm thinking will probably. I kind of want to do barley in those two fields. It's kind of tough because those are really long growth times, obviously. But probably not the ideal things to be able to make as much money as possible. Yep, just under $7,000. But yeah, you can see. Does not have any icons over it. It just... It works, though. It works. And really, that was my biggest concern, is if it works. Yeah, well, up to 47,000, which is quite a bit for being this early into a survival challenge, that's for certain. But I did want to mention the first 2 episodes are now up as of recording. I do appreciate all the support on them. As always, whether you're new here, been here a while, I always do appreciate all the support and everything. So, yeah, just figured I'd mention that. So, alright, so I think we'll just get back to the farm. We'll get the rest of the oak tree loaded up. We'll have to get that sold. Then we'll probably start working on planting. How much And what solid fertilizer do we have? We don't have a ton of either. I might check how much a silo is too. I think I'm going to buy a bag of each. Just to be on the safe side. Yeah, obviously, kind of unfortunate, but I think just to be safe. We can bring those back once we come back through after we sell the rest of the oak tree. Because here's the thing, like, it would almost be best if we could, you know, do like an oats or something and do more of the harvest. They have to sell more, obviously, when it does come time to sell. Because I obviously haven't done the math on this, but I would assume if we can do let's say two harvests worth of oats out of basically every field, then go and sell all of that at one time, it would be more than the one harvest of barley or wheat would be. Just because of growth times. Because oats is like 4 or 5 months. And I think barley's 9. I think wheat might be 10. So I might check how much a silo is, which we're pretty early in, but obviously it might be something we want to look towards. Especially if we can store it. Because storing the grain it's a huge help. You can kind of maneuver however you want. You don't have to plan everything out. And obviously, I think we'd want to try to get a planter so we could potentially do like soybeans. Soybeans are kind of nice because they're sold in that June time. So we're kind of, instead of having a full year between selling your crops, you can have that June window where you get to sell something else. Obviously, you could sell it whenever, but to get the best price, you're basically going to wait once a year. You're going to sell your crop. But sometimes it's nice to have that breakup window in there. I don't think any of the planters are that cheap, and I think they all require a decent amount of outside of this one, which is, it's tempting, but it's, you know, it's not a direct drill or anything. 150 horse. Ideally, we could get something like this. Because long term, even that would be nice, because we could even do sorghum out of it. We could do chickens. But we also would need like 200 horsepower, and we'd be looking at like, how much is this fully equipped? 188,000. Maybe there's some other options in here that go. The Veltra. That's 157. That's not too bad. Those aren't too bad. What is it this one? That's good. I remember somebody mentioning this to me a long time ago, how there's a Deutzfahr in here that's really good. So yeah, that might be the bet. 230 horsepower, 89,000. That is probably hard to beat, even in this range. That's 83,000. I mean, really, that is slightly cheaper. This has the front three-point. That's something to think about. I think the front 3-point might be nice in the future. Keep the Deutzfahr farm going. That's all we've had so far, I guess. But yeah, I do remember somebody mentioning that to me a long time ago, and I was like, "Ooh, that's a dang good deal. I'll have to remember that, because 90,000 would be a lot easier to come by than dang near anything else would be. There we go. So yeah, after harvester, we're probably looking for something like that. So not cheap, that is for certain. Obviously, $90,000 is not cheap, but maybe we can be lucky and it'll show up in a sale. I mean, even, obviously, the front 3-point would be nice, but even if the Adco's there would show up in a sale, I'd probably be a-okay with that. If it's a good enough deal, obviously, like, why not at that point? So I don't think we're too far out from thinking, all right, we need a new tractor, because we're kind of limited. And obviously getting a direct drill would be quite nice, because right now what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to plow the fields between every harvest. And that is probably not the best way to do things, but it's the only way to do things right now. Get this all strapped up. It's just something we'll have to keep in mind, really. Make sure I didn't miss any small pieces. Alright, so get this sold. Of course, we can welcome the new person here. Always somebody new every time. $5,500. So yeah, we're probably looking at about 15 grand per oak tree. 15, 16 grand. Which obviously, a lot of money. I can't complain at that, but we're also gonna be quite a ways, obviously, still from a harvester, and we need one pretty badly. I think more than likely, once we get done here with the planting, we'll probably cut another one down. And then I'm trying to think, we're looking usually at about, probably about 10 grand between this month and next, between the sawmill as well as the goods produced from the greenhouse. So that really would put us closer to 60,000. So we can probably sell one more oak tree. That'd get us close enough to where we could, you know, next month basically sell the peas and probably be good. You know, we could even load up a small tree on that same load and sell that together. Alright, well, I think I'll put this trailer probably over at this field, because that field is probably close enough to the bags. I mean, I guess they're both pretty close to the seeds and the fertilizer. And I'm going to look at silos, but I'm kind of leaning towards probably not buying a silo yet, and maybe going towards tractors, planters first. Obviously, harvester. So harvesters are pretty needed. Alright, let's go into construction here. Silo. We want a decent capacity. Is it 19 grand? Really? That's not bad. Obviously, it's not as much as like these with 30, but for $30,000. These aren't that big, right? Yeah, these aren't terribly large. Kind of doubt we'd ever need more than the, what, 2 million for this? Where do we put it, though? I don't know. Overlaps. This is probably just trees and stuff, but that's the thing is, how, you know, obviously we're starting to put the farm around here. Maybe over here. But eventually, obviously, the actual farm is going to expand into this direction eventually. So we might want it somewhere a little bit more accessible, regardless of direction. You know, that's something I'm gonna have to think about that a little bit. It's obviously for 19 grand, that wouldn't be a bad upgrade to get pretty quick. It wouldn't take terribly long to get there, because obviously we're making a good amount from our sawmill and the greenhouse. Alright, I'm sure we'll run out of something. Now, do I want to do oats? In knowing that I'll do silo. I think obviously oats wouldn't be bad because it's a shorter growth time. By decent amount, too. I think we'll do oats. It's a little bit of a risk. I would foresee us being able to get the silo pretty quick. We'll have to push off obviously some other upgrades like a tractor, but it might be well worth it though in the long run. Obviously, to get a silo pretty early would be quite beneficial. Yeah, this field is so all over the place, it's almost hard to use steering assist at the beginning here. So it might be quite beneficial to do that. I'll have to try to figure out where I want to put it. Because here's the thing, I can obviously put it anywhere, but wherever I do put it, that's going to be like the permanent location, and I'm basically planning out the future yard. And I really haven't even thought that far ahead yet, so... kind of want it, like I said, somewhere easily enough accessible. So if we eventually obviously grow that direction, it's not having to drive through half the farm, half the yard to kind of get to it. We can kind of just easily get to it without having to dodge things or anything. Well, I think I'll just do a time lapse for probably both of the planting, maybe. We get them both done real quick, like. So I'll text everyone once the time lapse is done.
As he watches through the door, a smile pulls in more and more. Wicked thoughts shape wicked ways, while we all crave, when the man yells that it's done, when he finds the smoking gun. Don't you worry, little one, for we all crave, we all crave. Just a little time. Know your addiction's not a crime. It's just a smaller part of who you want to become in the end. When the snow is on her mind, rows and rows and lines in the haze of your fixation. We all crave for you, we all crave. And you can kill the wildest thing
Alright, so that's just about the whole field. I'll set this little piece in here that we, at least I missed. Try to get every little bit if possible, so. Alright, looks pretty dang good. So there we have it. We have 2 new fields fully planted. Next time, of course, we'll be doing second layer of fertilizer on them. And the plan is now we would like to get at least 1 more tree sold today. Because we gotta, obviously, we gotta make a bunch of money for next time. Ideally, we do another oak tree. There's a couple in the yard. I might take one of those because, like I said, eventually that might be where the actual yard is. So either I do it now or I do it in the future. Alright. Obviously the preferred method would be the whole tree. I'm just curious if this would even work. I feel like it would lift the tractor up. Well, actually, the actual problem is this is going to drag. I bet it won't move. Oh, okay. This is working surprisingly good. Let's throw the rest of the straps on and see what happens. This might be the ideal method. If we can get out of here. I didn't think about that part. Maybe we'll have to cut these trees down now. Oh. Little bit tight through here. Luckily, some of the branches don't have a collision. That one did. I'm kind of surprised this is even working, but I suppose it's kind of just floating in the air. It works. Is it realistic? Probably not. But we can go and get this sold. I'm kind of just curious how much a full tree is worth. Alright, so here we are at the sawmill. It has, of course, started to snow. I guess that means that nobody's going to be here. Dang. I was kind of getting a little bit used to having somebody new here every time. $7,000? When I sold it and split, it was more. Huh. I guess it's more profitable to split the loads for oaks. Because that means that next time we're going to have to sell, obviously, peas again. And then we're going to have to split an oak tree and sell that. Because obviously that's far better than selling a full tree. Obviously, I guess that's not like debranched and everything, and maybe I'm getting a better price because of that. Even though the price is based off of the liter amount. I wouldn't think it being cut down shouldn't make it worth more, right? Because it's based off of the liter. Huh. I really don't know how to... I don't know how that works. We'll have enough money. We will be able to get enough money. It's just going to take a little bit more effort. But like I said, we'll have peas next time. We'll have a little bit extra. We'll probably be sitting almost at 6,000 once we're in next month. Once we start just from the sawmill itself, then we'll sell the peas, and we'll sell another half of an oak tree. We'll have to sell that other half as well then, and do it that way. We probably should have enough money then. That should be over 75 grand. But yeah, a little bit more work for the harvester, but we're just about there. We're just about there. Anyways, that is everything for today. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you in the next video. Bye.